Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know I'm late, so we're just going to talk about the episode, okay? It starts off with basically Candy and Todd are having a conversation about the movie that Todd is doing. He says that he offered Shamia a role as a stripper. Candy had a concern about whether or not her husband will be okay with her working. I guess I'm taking on a role as a stripper. Um, Todd says that he forgot that he offered a role. He gave Tay's role to Manetta. I'm not picking. I know some of y'all gonna say I'm picking. I'm not picking. How are you coming out of pocket, or like you're funding this movie, right? And like, what y'all got going on over there? Is Todd just picking up the phone like, "Hey, I'm shooting a movie. You want to roll?" Like, how do you not know who has what part in a movie? Like, a part of me feels like I hope this movie is not cheap looking. I feel like it's gonna be no shade. I feel like it's gonna be like a Tyler Perry production. You know how like when you watch the Medea movies, how like everything looks very much like like you could tell that it's like a set, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't look like he puts any money behind his projects. It's like he gives the bare minimum as it pertains to like the aesthetic of the set, right? The design. It always looks like the cheapest thing he could have purchased. And I just feel like that's the route that Todd is going to take. Like, if it looks halfway decent, let's go. I mean, girl, melting no shade. We Todd got down to the OLG and told this girl that he ain't even have time to go downtown to get the permit to get a generator or something like that. So I'm gonna leave it alone though. But y'all get what I'm trying to say. You just throwing name, you just calling people like, "Hey, I'm shooting a movie. You want to roll?" Well, all right. Marlo and the kids, they're shooting a Christmas photo. One of the kids brings up, I'm still selling merch. Okay. Can I say something at www.rodneythavoice.com? Also other items too. One of the kids, I think it was Michael, suggests that Marlo invites Chef Scottley over for dinner. And you could tell that that Marlo was like shocked. She told him no. She said, I think in her confessional, that she would have to wait at least a year. That she would have to date him for at least a year before they met him. Sonia and her sister. I can never remember her sister's name. I can never remember Sonia's sister's name. So Sonia and her sister. Long story short, Sonia has a conversation with her sister. Um, what it comes down to is Sonia is the star of the family. She's used to people basically taking care of her and doing what needs to be done. And now that she's used to her sister always being one of her biggest support systems. And now her sister, like she told her, I'm a wife now. I have kids. And why does this kept? If we want to be messy, girl, you also over there having to worry about your husband not having a job. Now, do your husband got a girl? I'm not trying to be messy, girl. But the last time they mentioned her husband, they said he quit the job that Sonya gave him because basically it was a job for a girl. So as far as I was concerned, he was just sitting around the house not doing nothing. So girl, the sister already stressed out, girl. You stressing me out because I'm in your house and I know your man don't want us here. And then my man ain't got no job. Girl. And then I gotta take care of these kids in this vehicle, girl, by myself. Okay. And then next week's episode, we saw her talking about she was applying for an apartment for the very first time ever in life. So girl, sister got some stuff going on, okay? Um, but I understood what the sister was saying. The sister is basically drawing a line in the sand. Sonya felt some type of way because she just had her Mommy Nation event and the sister wasn't there. But the sister has told Sonya that these are my boundaries. This is what I expect from you. And like she told her, you'll do it one time, but then you'll go back to your old ways. So I think the sister is at a point now where it's like, you know what? I know how you're going to move. So therefore, if I tell you not to do something and you do it anyways, I'm not coming to your event. I have other stuff to do. I'm not gonna keep putting the stuff that I have going on the back burner to come and appease you. That's what I got from the sister. I'm with the sister, but I also feel like too that family probably has now put themselves in a situation where like Sonya is probably like I don't know about Ross. I don't know about Ross, but Sonya is probably the one who makes all the money. She employs her family, right? I think she already told us that, and so I could see how when you have someone who's bringing in the money, she's making sure her family has some type of income coming in, that how it could start to be just me. So now Sonya's not gonna know what to do when her sister starts saying, no, it's about me too. She's not gonna know what to do, girl. That's why when Sonya had that second baby, Sonya gonna be girl. Sonya, this is no tea, no shade. Sonya is already running around there stressed out after little Deucey. And girl, you got how many grown people living in the house? And how many little play and how many cousins Deucey got to play with, and Sonya be stressed out. So just imagine if everybody leave the house and Sonya got two kids, girl, Sonya head gonna look like mine on the side. I'm just gonna be stressed. Shout out to Sonya though. Anyways, Cynthia made an appearance, so shout out to Cynthia. What else is going on? Cynthia looks good. I thought she looked sickening at Candy's party. Candy had a peach party to basically celebrate her 10-year anniversary for Bedroom Candy. I did not realize Bedroom Candy had been around that long. I don't know why I thought it had just been a few years. Bedroom Candy has been around for a long time, y'all. Y'all got y'all some, okay? Um, Anyways, from what I understand, girl, these niggas ain't giving y'all no orgasm, so y'all better go get y'all some bedroom candy so y'all can give y'all self one. Anyways, um, you know, she tapped on Mike for a little bit. She didn't give us too much. Cynthia said, "Girl, they paying me an appearance fee. I'm not no full time housewife, so you're not gonna get no full time storyline, okay?" Um, she just basically said that she mentioned her marriage not, her not being married anymore, and she's 55 now, and I guess she's a Pisces, and I guess that means that she'll always be in love with love, something like that. She didn't really go into much detail that she shouldn't have. Um, what else? They talked about the kiss. Candy calling her about the whole kiss with Drew. We'll talk. I'm going to try to lump all that together because I don't feel like going through the different conversations. Because at this point, Candy had a conversation about the kiss. Drew had a conversation about the kiss. Girl, I think Sheree and Candy had a conversation about the kiss, and then the ending. So I'm not going to go down each. We're just going to talk about the kiss at one time. Kenya is babysitting her cousin's baby. The baby is so cute. I thought it was funny when Kenya asked Brooklyn, will she help change diapers if she had a baby? And Brooklyn said, if you give me a mask. um, Drew was talking to Ralph. She's telling Ralph about what was going on. Did y'all see Ralph's face? Ralph was looking uncomfortable, or either I couldn't make out, like it was an uncomfortable, like you lying to me, or wait till these cameras leave, I got something for you type of look. I'm gonna cuss you out when these cameras leave. I don't know. It was very weird how Ralph was responding to with his facial expressions to Drew when she was talking to him. She's basically getting her closet organized. Um, Marlo and Scott Lee, she makes a comment about Scott Lee partying all the time. I mean, from what they said, I guess Scott Lee's restaurant is one of those restaurants. You know, some people have restaurants where they kind of like kind of change into like a lounge, a loungy type of feel at nighttime. So I'm assuming, not assuming, that's what he has. So I guess he's always out, I guess, partying, even though he's at work. His job is to party, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, Marlo. Like, girl, that's that man's job. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that man's job. You know, like at this point, that's that man's job. I don't know anything about Scott Lee, but it's not like Scott. I don't know. I feel like Scott Lee is not in a position like Candy and Todd, where Candy and Todd don't have to be at OLG every day. Girl, they probably don't even have to be at OLG every week or every month, right? I don't know if Scott Lee is in that position where he can just, or he feels comfortable enough not being at his job, the place that he owns. So Marlo is going to have to come to a decision on whether or not she wants to continue dating Scott Lee or let it go to the wayside, because I don't think it would be fair for Marlo to continue whatever relationship or continue this dating with Scott Lee and then all of a sudden start fussing down the road about him not being home, or either him being out late at night at work. Because you know what the tea is. So it ain't no surprises that's gonna come down later now. You know, it ain't no surprise. Anyways, so Sheree got new titties. She went to Candy and Kenya's doctor. You know, Kenya got a breast reduction. I think Candy got a breast lift. I don't know. She probably got. I don't know. I actually follow, if that's the same guy. I actually follow the doctor on IG. He does do good work. It's a white man. Um, anyways, Candy got offended because I guess, well, not I guess, Sheree told her that Drew said basically she didn't care if she was in the movie or not. I mean, can't like no tea, no shade, Candy, girl. Girl, shout out to the Candy Cody Click. Girl, Candy, regardless if you saw what you saw, you can't expect to have this disagreement with Drew and then think that it would not potentially spill over into whatever business relationship that you could be creating with her. So you want to drive it home that Drew kissed the girl and she liked it, right? The taste of her cherry chopstick. Shout out to Katy Perry. But then when Drew starts to basically say, "Oh, girl, you're a liar. Girl, I don't care if I'm in her movie or not." Now it's, "Oh my God, girl, you're doing too much." Drew could feel the same way about you doing too much because Drew is saying you're lying on her. So if someone is calling you a liar, then girl, what do you think the response is going to be? Especially if you are about to form some type of business relationship with that person. Hello, girl. Anyways, um, Candy has a party. I thought the party, it was a nice party. Like, this is what I like to see. I like to see parties that look like parties. I don't want to see parties where it's just the housewives. When you say I'm throwing a party, I want to see all types of people there. I want it to look like, girl, my family is here. My friends are here. There are guests here, right? That was a party to me. But the party looked nice. Um, I put y'all see Ross uptight. Y'all saw when Sonya was trying to basically tell Ross to get into like the straps. He was like, no, 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 no. Ross, girl, calm down. Girl, like, y'all be so uptight when it comes to sex and stuff. Like, girl, what, like, in real life, what did Ross think that Sonya was about to do, girl, right there in front of the cameras? Take his clothes off and spank him? Girl, I think the most that would have happened was he probably would have stood in the little straps with his arms up, and Sonya probably would have got a whip and pretended like she was whipping him. Clothes, fully clothed, like, I was like, ugh, girl. Anyways, Cynthia pushes through. Cynthia looks sickening. Um, her and Kenya had a falling out. Listen, I don't know if y'all watched Ultimate Girls Trip. I know some of you did. Some of y'all felt like Kenya was in the wrong. I don't think so. I think what happened was they went onto that girls' trip, and Cynthia had already made up in her mind that she was going to have to explain Kenya and whatever way she thought that Kenya was going to have on the trip to the girls. And when Kenya got there, everybody loved Kenya and they hated Cynthia. And I don't think Cynthia was ready for that because Kenya was able. I hate to say what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyways. Kenya walked into that situation knowing that they was dealing with some white women. No tea, no shade. And so Kenya knew that she couldn't come into this situation with these sensitive ass white women like I am over there down to Atlanta. So Kenya came in like, what's up? What's tea? Right? Cynthia wanted to play games that the other women thought was offensive, and Kenya was like, girl, you can't do that here. You know these white hoes are sensitive. They spend millions of dollars on their faces and bodies, girl. Now you want to play a game of who the prettiest? We can do that in Atlanta because we all think we bad bitches. They don't think that. Anyways, girl, that's what I think it was. Cynthia just it was. I just think it threw Cynthia off a rocker, and it was like, girl, these people really love Kenya, and girl, they really didn't like Cynthia. Um, but anyway, so girl, after that, they kind of like didn't talk for a few months. They finally came around at when Teresa got married, and now they're back to being sisters. Um, oh, so Drew arrives. Y'all heard when girl, I said, "Come on, Cynthia. This is how the girls work, okay?" As soon as Drew walked up, Cynthia said, "Oh, girl, we were just talking about you." I said, "Come on, get the party started, Miss Cynthia." Um, uh, this is what it comes down to. I'm with the girls. Nobody really cares if Drew kissed Toya. Nobody cares. That's really not a scandal. Now, what would be a scandal is if they said one of the men kissed a man. But girl, nobody really cares about when like you hear like a girl kissing another girl. It's kind of like, oh girl, okay, girl, whatever. Then you go on by your business. Um, I think where the issue starts to come into play is when girl now it's more so questioning Candy's character, right? Because Candy is not a known liar. I think that with the kiss, I don't know. I'm so confused now. I really am. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't know why part of me believes Drew, but then I also feel like Drew is a liar though. And I don't think Candy would just outright tell no lie like that. I really don't. And even with them playing that clip of Candy saying, maybe I misjudged. Because this is what I think happens, right? When you have someone like Drew who is putting this on her kids, you would hope that people would not lie on their kids, but we know people lie on their kids all the time. People lie on their dead grandmamas. Hello? Um, so it's kind of like I could see even Marlo said last week, like, girl, like yeah, I was 80% sure, but then girl, I'm like 20% probably she probably didn't when she started bringing up her kids. I think when people start to bring up their children into things, it's kind of like, oh. right? Because who would lie on their kids? I think that would be a sign that you're telling the truth. It's kind of like when I say, girl, I'm telling you on my nieces. Girl, I'm not lying on my nieces. I'm not putting no lie on my nieces' backs. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, girl, I hope Drew ain't lying, because if Drew putting on her kids, it's kind of like, well, maybe she is telling the truth. But then, one thing about it, two things for sure, three things for certain. I really don't think that Kenya, Marlo, and Candy would come together and agree. You know how like you have those situations where like even if you knew somebody was telling the truth, because you don't fool with them, you're not gonna say they telling the truth. You just gonna find a way not to put yourself in it. So like if somebody came up to you and said, "Girl, you know Keisha said so and so," and you know you can't stand the ground Keisha walk on, but you know Keisha is telling the truth, you be like, "Girl, I don't want nothing to do with that," because you really don't want to agree with that bitch, because you know Keisha telling the truth, but you don't fuck with Keisha like that. You know what I'm saying? So, bitch, I'm not gonna get that shit. I'm not giving that bitch nothing. Okay? She got to figure it out on her own. So I'm just saying that we know that Kenya don't see it for Marlo. We know Candy don't see it for Marlo. So it's hard for me to believe that all three of these ladies will come together, especially now. And with Marlo pulling the stunts and shows she's pulled with Candy this season, we know her and Kenya don't have the greatest relationship, but all of a sudden they're gonna come together for a takedown of Drew Sidora. I just like it's like I don't know what to think. It's just I don't know. I really don't know. Um. Anyways, Marlo and Ralph have a conversation. This is what I be talking about. When y'all swapping out men and women, not y'all. People swapping out men and women can't talk. Girl, Marlo is a grown ass woman. Ralph, I'm gonna say Ralph is a grown ass woman. Ralph is a grown ass man. There is no reason. No, there is a reason. I understand why sometimes you can't talk to men, because suddenly they'll get mad and pop you in your face. But for those of us who don't hit women, those of us who can get into an argument or a disagreement and not call each other out, call each other out our names, we might raise our voices, but we know at the end of the day, everybody gonna keep their hands to themselves, and ain't nobody gonna be walking around here calling nobody B's or the F words, right? Marlo can have a conversation with Ralph. It's not that big of a deal. Drew doesn't need to be present for Ralph and Marlo to have a conversation. Um, Marlo didn't do anything wrong. She didn't say anything wrong initially about Ralph. I don't know what Drew told that man. I really don't. I want to know what Drew. I want to know what Drew told Ralph. That's what I want to know. I said this in my review a couple of weeks ago. Maybe we know that when they shoot these scenes, they shoot these scenes for hours and hours and hours and hours. So there's hours and hours and hours of footage. Is shout out to footages. And they condense it down to 3 or 4 minutes. So maybe Marlo did say something, but again, unless they just covering up for Marlo, they haven't shown anybody really say that Marlo said anything out of pocket about Ralph. Whatever Drew told Ralph, either it was something that Marlo said and they just didn't show it on camera, or either Drew just told a straight up lie to Ralph. Because Marlo saying we both work in technology was not anything that she should have ran back to tell Ralph. Now, again, like Marlo said, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned his name, but girl, I didn't say anything disrespectful though. Unless Marlo was trying to throw a dig at your man, really ain't got no job. Anyways, so Marlo comes upstairs. They send for Marlo. It's Marlo, Drew, Toya. Toya is gorgeous. Toya, Drew, Candy, and Marlo. They're having a conversation. I don't know what to believe with Toya, because Toya to change her story. 1 minute she kissed Drew, 1 minute she didn't. 1 minute she kisses him, 1 minute she didn't. It's too girl. Marlo comes upstairs. She basically is like, "Girl, you lying, girl." I'm saying this when I hollered when Marlo was walking out of the room and she said, "And sing." And then when Drew said, "Lock up," when I tell you, I was hollering at Drew and Marlo. And then when Marlo got into her confessional and said that Drew looks like a 20-something year old on Instagram, but in person she looks like a jump scare. Drew is not an unattractive woman. To me, she's not. Drew is very pretty, but it still was funny though. Yeah. Anyways, and then they come to the conclusion that they're probably gonna have to agree to disagree because, girl, we're gonna have to just agree to disagree because I saw what I saw. Y'all saying y'all didn't do it. Marlo saying she saw it. Kenya saying she saw it. And now all of a sudden, girl, y'all didn't do it. Toya done said she did it one minute, then she said she didn't do it the next minute. I don't know. But also, it feels like Drew, this is no tea, no shade. Shout out to all the PKs. Um, but there's always been this running thing about PKs, where because they are expected to be this person of perfection, that they are sometimes the girl, the worst ones walking around. And a part of me feels like because Drew is very much a PK's kid, a PK's a PK preacher's kid, that I could see her kissing Toya and not wanting to say that she did because you kissed the woman, right? We've seen how Drew gets when it comes to what she believes in, right? Her going through what she's going through, but then telling Sonya, girl, it's your job to give your husband a baby. Her going through what she's going through, Toya confiding in her, but then she'll turn around and call Toya the Lala spirit. So we know how Drew moves. I don't know if she kissed the man, kissed the girl or not. I don't know. At this point, girl, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Bye, y'all.